Hello, fellow Megatenists. Before we get started, I wanted to take time to dedicate this video to my dear friend, KDA. If you know me in any capacity, you know that I don't really bandy about the word friend. I'm quick to set boundaries and call you an associate or an acquaintance, something like that. KDA was different. I think we both shared these common elements of our character that was apparent just between us. Whether it's the hero complex or our need to share a very catered side of ourselves to different groups of people we know, he knew many things about me that I would never tell anyone else. We shared, in our very unusual way, a lot of similar struggles, and I miss him all the time. We didn't just share struggles, however. We also shared a love for music. KDA did help figure out Megaro's process for the forced battle vocals, based on the information I found out. He was also pretty passionate about collecting, and this video is an ode to that. Today, let's talk about Atlus vinyl. And before we even get started, yeah, some of these won't be Atlus, at least the early ones, so yeah. First up is this vinyl. It's rare, and I don't have it, so do me a favor and agree that by watching this, you will not buy this vinyl. Instead, you'll DM me and tell me where it is so I can buy it, right? Okay. This weird release was made by King Records, not to be confused with the R&B record label, also known as King Records. This is the Telenet Game Music Collection, Volume 1, released August 21st, 1988 in Japan. This vinyl had an A-side with 27 tracks and a B-side with 20, and as its name implies, it was a collection of Telenet game music. Tracks 1 through 15 were from Phantasm Soldier Valis, 16 through 27 were from Shinra Bansho, 28 through 35 were from Final Zone, and 36 through 47 are from Digital Devil Story Megami Tensei. Now, some of you might tell me that Telenet Tensei actually isn't a Atlus game because they didn't make it. Telenet did. Well, I'll have you know that Telenet actually did have a staff from Atlus visit and consult once per week until the game was completed. So, it's tangentially related. So again, I don't have this one, so I can't really tell you much else besides that. And if you do see it, it's mine. Don't buy it. Just tell me about it so I can buy it. Now, if we're gonna go a little more chronologically, we have to talk about Beep Special Project Best Game Music Selection, released on 7-inch flexidisc in 1987 as well. The A-side features a single Afterburner track and 4 R-type tracks, and the B-side features 2 Dragon Spirit tracks and 3 Digital Devil Story Megami Tensei tracks. Those being Hellfire, Bloody Sabbath, and Recollection. A little phono history for you. Flexidiscs are sonosheets, or phonosheets are phonograph records made on thin vinyl. These were popular for children and teenagers in the Soviet Union, but also became a popular gimmick release for magazines, including computer magazines, which would even feature software in audio form. This vinyl was in a copy of Beep magazine, hence the name, and I've actually seldom seen it sold with the magazine. Usually it's on its own and it's about 10 to 50 bucks. I got mine for about 10. Beep did a few of these, so just look for the one with SMT art on the sleeve. And if you're wondering how it plays pretty well. Can't complain. Next is the Digital Devil Story Megami Tensei original soundtrack, released again in 1987. This was a 12-track vinyl which featured something interesting in my opinion. Track 7, titled Deja Vu, had lyrics written by Aya Nishitani and was co-composed by Nishitani alongside Hiroyuki Namba. If you don't know, Nishitani is the one who wrote the novels that this OVA was based on. This vinyl is a little pricey, especially with now how I've seen it hitting upwards of $50 dues. This is the OVA OST, if I didn't mention that already, and features the lead track, Yuri with the Caches, Lady Your Eyes. Lady Your Eyes would also receive a 7-inch that same year, with Faded Memories being the B-side. This one I've seen pretty consistently for under $20 if you're willing to import it. I got mine for $5. Do I like this vinyl? Do I play it? Honestly, outside the OVA vinyl, the rest are pretty much just collector pieces. And this is more of the same. The Megaten Imagine EP is a 12-inch released October 30th, 1999. I believe Avex owns the rights to this vinyl, and it seems that the relationship with Avex and a particular A&R named Ken Sato led to Alicia Laverne becoming involved with Persona. Anyway, the Imagine vinyl is a 4-track vinyl featuring breakbeat remixes of Megaten music called Power and Battle Mixes on the A side and Brain Mix and Brain Dub Mix on the B side. I can't really say that this is anything other than a novelty piece. It generally sells for like $50 to $100. I got mine for like $30. Here's another release, but I think it's quite nice actually. This is the Alicia Laverne 12-inch single for Change Your Way. This was the track for Persona 2, which is a great track. The A side features a club mix, the original, and the B side is another mix and an instrumental of the same mix. It was released in 2000 and it's unusual in so many ways, but the thing I find most interesting is how it was released in Japan because Alicia had garnered a Japanese fan base, and when she toured, apparently Japan ate that up. I love the song, so I'm a little biased, but I think this is a ridiculously cheap record for your collection. I spent $2 on mine, and it's worth it, especially if you love P2 and want an unusual brag. Personally, only the original mix is really worth listening to, but I'm a bit of a music snob, so... And then, for 13 years, we didn't get another Atlus vinyl. Well, until May 2013 in the UK, they got a cool yellow 12-inch. This was made as a pre-order bonus. Don't you miss when pre-order bonuses would do something cool like this? Anyway, this was the Persona 4 Arena pre-order bonus, and it features 6 tracks. The side A includes the songs The Arena Naked Mix, The Hero from June S, Electro Mix, and Like a Dragon Girl Pop Mix. The B-side has Princess Amagi Traditional Taste Mix, The Wandering Wolf Straight Mix, and Missions for the Brilliant Executioner 2K Mix. They also received a CD version with the same songs as well as digital goods including wallpapers, Facebook avatars, and Twitter icons. Those are all lost, by the way. You can't access them through the website anymore. They're not archived either, so I couldn't show you what they look like. I paid like $30 for mine, but the price nowadays seems to hover around $50 to $100. Then, in August of 2015, Japan got another record, this time for Persona 4 Dancing All Night. This was a 12-track LP, originally sold at Comiket 88 by Atlus, then later on at Atlus's Eb10 site. It's crazy because its original price was about 3,056 yen, which is like 20 bucks in today's money. I didn't pay that. I paid like $100 for mine, and this is yet again a hobby collector purchase, not really something I would want to listen to. It's a 12-track LP. It's got some good remixes, but it also has that infamous meme song, Shadow World Dead Mouse Shadow Swing Mix. It's a relatively rare record now and seems to hit $200 to $500, so I'd recommend getting it if you can afford the $300 or less. 2017 is the start of printing the vinyls in the West in a way people can actually buy. We got 2 versions of the Persona 5 vinyl, the Essential and the Deluxe. This is probably the rarest vinyl mentioned in this video so far. Well, not the Essential record. The Deluxe included 2 more vinyls, and there was only 1,000 that were made. I own one and I bought it at retail, but now it can cost as much as $1,000. I've never really seen it sell for more than that. But if you want the entire P5 OST, you have to get that instead of the Essential version. The Essential was also reprinted several times, and one of those times coincides with the 25th anniversary where it was reprinted. We'll talk about that more later. This record was pressed by IM8-bit, and honestly, the colors are nice. And the sleeves and packaging are nice too. These were done by Drew Wise. It's interesting to think that this was an official release and didn't have Atlus Japan art on it. The Essentials vinyls are colored black, gray, clear, and red, and the limited edition has 2 additional blue translucent ones. It's worth noting that these were the first ones in this video that had a largely negative review because of the manufacturing and shipping. IM8-bit is pretty infamous for being very slow to ship things, and a lot of people complained about having warped records, dirty records, and the audio quality not being up to par to standard play even on higher end machines. But hey, maybe we'll get more records. Next, this is the rarest vinyl I own personally, the Persona 3 Dancing in Moonlight, Persona 5 Dancing in Starlight vinyl record. It was made to promote the dual release of Persona 3 Dancing and Persona 5 Dancing, and only given to a few media outlets really. We only know less than 42 exist. I own one. It features 6 songs in total with 3 on either side. So like I said, there's less than 40 that we know of at least. I got mine very luckily. I actually entered a dance contest and I ended up losing, but I contacted the winner and said if they were ever willing to sell it, I would gladly buy it. Not gonna lie, this is one of the few times being a huge loser actually worked in my favor because they saw my internet presence and how I had a huge collection of Atlus things. They decided that I would actually enjoy it a lot more and take care of it. So they sold it to me for like $300. If you see this, I'd say buy it if you can afford it. It's terribly rare, but also simply a collector's record. Not something I would spin, even though I've seen a couple of people play it on cheap record players. The next record to come is weird. I don't have a whole lot of info on this, but in 2019-ish, this was the unofficial Persona 4 Golden Original Soundtrack Selections. Yeah, unofficial. Pressed by Terra Records, who I couldn't dig up any information on. It was made in a small batch, only 100 were made. For the first run at least. I don't know how much were the subsequent runs. I say I don't know because the first run was traditional vinyl with some goods, but I can't tell if the other editions, the red and blue variants, are the only other variants, and I can't tell how many of those are printed because unlike the first run, which has a number indicating which release you got, 1 through 100, the reprints just don't have that information. There was also a slip mat and it looked very cool. Like I've seen it before, but I could not find any information, or I couldn't even find pictures of it, to be honest. So just trust me, it exists. I'm not a liar. And while we're talking about slip mats, that reminds me that when the Persona 5 vinyl was reprinted, they actually struggled with delays and broke tons of product, which as an apology, they issued these super limited slip mats as a bonus. I don't know how many of these exist, but they look very good. I didn't get one and I couldn't find anyone who ever sold them. So, you know, if you have one and you just wanna make Larrue kinda happy, you better hit me up. Anyway, I paid $200 for my Persona 4 Golden Original Soundtrack Selections by Terra Records. Mine turned out to be a red second print. I don't know how many of the red exist or the blue exist or if the other colors exist at all, but I'd say try to get it as cheaply as possible, something under $300 if you can afford it. I've never spun mine because it's ridiculously rare. And because it's a bootleg and I don't want to risk damaging it, I can't even tell you how it sounds in terms of quality. There are some YouTube videos that play it though. So it'd be 2 years till our next vinyl piece. And it came September of 2021 and wasn't even official as well. Instead, this was a cover album called Metagrove from the J Music Ensemble. This cool fan project was ran through Indiegogo and doubled its goal of $15,000. Some of the items of the pledge were the vinyl of their Persona 5 jazz album and also a signed variant. About 150-ish of these exist and were given to backers. I actually DM'd these people to see if I could buy one. They do plan to sell the remaining wares. I believe that they were settling in Japan at the moment that I was contacting them, but I listened to their music and their covers are fantastic. I live for projects like this. They don't just do Persona covers also, so I recommend checking them out if you're a jazz connoisseur or however you spell connoisseur. You can't see what I'm reading because you can't see the script, but I spelled connoisseur phonetically because I didn't know how to spell it. So, we got Persona 5, but we needed Persona 5 Royal, right? Well, Persona 5 Vanilla got a reissue. That's the one that got damaged and got those bonus slip bats. And Royal got a 3-disc set as well, with a lovely bonus for pre-orders, a 7-inch for buying that Royal set. The 7-inch has just Hymn of the Soul on it, and it's kind of neat. I played mine and I found that it had some noise on it, like even with cleaning it was just like a little weird. So I'd recommend definitely cleaning it before playing it, but you should kind of just do that for all records, to be honest. This would then again rerun this year without that 7-inch, by the way. And if I did this right, you should still be able to buy that rerun, unless I took too long because I was playing Don't Starve Together. The colors for the record set are a little funny to me. We have Golden Nugget, Red Translucent, and Black Ice. Like, I get they wanted to disclose that it's gonna be gold, red, and black, but like Black Ice is funny because that's just normal vinyl printing color. It's also worth noting that this has colors flying high, but it's not the full version. Then there's the Persona 25th anniversary announcement. This was huge. Persona 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, everything got official releases. Well, not really everything, actually. We didn't get any of the Persona 3 portable music, but we'll talk about that. Another interesting little caveat is I Am 8-Bit decided to bundle Persona 1 and 2 together, so you couldn't buy Persona 1 music and you couldn't buy Persona 2 music separate. It was just all one set. You could buy the other ones for individual purchase, or you can buy the collector set, which is $400. I did the math, and that's 15 vinyl for $400. According to my calculations, that's about $26 per vinyl, so it's not a crazy expensive vinyl set. I think this is divisive though because of how limited things are. The Persona 1-2 set are a selection, meaning that it's not the full OST of any of the 3 games. I think this is a shame because Persona 1 alone has well over 40 tracks, especially considering it had that all-new OST for the PSP re-release. Then there's the color choice. Retroactively, Persona 25th Anniversary decided that purple was the P1 official color and an ugly orangey red was the P2 color. I think these do not look good. They're so loud, it's too vibrant, and just, it's unflattering to the games, the tone of the games, everything. But hey, at least we got Satomi Tadashi Pharmacy, which was sung by one of the greatest composers to live, Hirohito Aoki. I think equal complaints could also be lobbied at P3 and P4, because the P3 one is just P3, it's missing P3P, which sucks because Way of Life is such a good infectious bop. The P4 one is weird because the package design is actually quite amazing. It's a TV, and it features almost all the playable characters except Rise. Rise in the game is color-coded to being pink, and instead of her, we get Kanji in the pink, which I bet can only continue to fuel the whole gender discussion that plagues Persona 4, reducing any fun or interesting discussion of the game to just being about Kanji and Naoto. The design itself is, like I said, it's nice, since they made it look like a TV and the back of the set actually matches that TV design. It's a cute touch. If you're like me, you probably bought the $400 set. You experienced the delay of the release, and the vinyls aren't in polylined sleeves, meaning you have to very much clean them before you play. Though you should always clean your vinyl before playing them anyway. There's reports of debris on the vinyl, and that sucks. Especially when you're dunking that much money, doesn't really matter how cost effective it is. $26 per 15 vinyls is fine on paper, but this sort of quality drop is not fine. And then there's one more. The most recent release from October 11th of 2022 is Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne plus Maniacs Pack original soundtracks. This is by far my favorite set, not just because it's the Nocturne one, but because it's the entire OST. I mean, sans sound test, which isn't officially released anyway. That's 70 songs, split among 4 splatter-colored vinyl. The packaging features amazing art by Tony Infante, which perfectly captures not just the designs of Nocturne, but its mood. They shipped super clean. I mean, I still clean mine because you should always clean your vinyl records before you play them. The packaging features the reason holders and Lucifer, and the art is just gorgeous. There's also some use of official art too. I mean, you know, for the real ones, if you look really closely at the back, you can see Reverse Tokyo. And each record features a fiend, specifically red, white, black, and pale riders. These went out a week after the pre-orders, so it's by far my favorite thing on this list because, you know, pre-order, you buy it right away. It's kind of nice looking else. The most exciting thing is that from the Black Friday email blast, we did get to glean that Fangamer might be teasing an SMT5 vinyl in the works as well. And that's it so far for the vinyl record history. I love talking about merch, even though I know these videos don't really have like deep information. It's just fun to talk about. Thanks to my channel members, A Lie Remains a Lie and FF12Kid, who recently upgraded to Atlus Faithful tier, which means that I have to do a commissioned art piece, and that might be something I live stream over the weekend. Buy my merch if you want to support, become a member if you want to support, like, comment, and subscribe if you want to support. Just let me know if these merch type videos are interesting to you. I love them. And thanks again, KDA. It hurts every day, man. Goodbye, fellow Megatenists. So I just wanted to say I love Persona and I hope I win.